took off like pretty much all the brake lines except the ones that go to the back. As you guys can see. I also took off the fuel filter with the fuel line that goes to the fuel rail. And right now we're drilling all the spot welds to take this bracket off. And we're going to take this bracket off also by a couple spot welds. But as usual, everything goes not as planned, and my batteries are not charged. So right now they're charging. I have to wait an hour. Then be fully charged. Then we're gonna pretty much probably take off the steering rack and the sway bar. I don't know if we're gonna do that today. And my dad's cutting the grass. So yeah, as you guys can see, that's where the problem is. This has to be a huge Toyota R154 transmission passing right fucking there. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be measuring out the Dmcc Specs as big as I can go. Which is 10 inches from the windshield, so 10 inches about there, around there, and then it's 18 inches I think at the bottom. I have to recheck the manual, see what exactly it says, because I haven't checked it in a while. And we're gonna pretty much cut a big hole right fucking there so the transmission can go. Then it's going to be chopping the subframe in the front. Pretty much chop it right here, boom. Chop it right there, boom. Big bar. And the steering rack's going to be coming in the front right here. So that means I got to flip the knuckles around. Because right now the knuckles are like so. With the steering arm in the back. And the caliper in the front. And it's going to be inverse, so the caliper in the back. And the steering arm in the front, a bit like well, exactly like a Subaru. No, it's not. We're not going to be putting Subaru arms. Alright guys, so when drilling out spot welds, you want to take a, I don't know what this is in English, mesh. That's actually bigger than the spot weld. As you can see, it's pretty small, pretty big hole. The reason why is because that's only the top of the weld, right? And the weld actually gets bigger inside. That's why you need a bigger. I got that one, I got that one, I got this one pretty good. Now I run this one before my battery had died. And it's, just take your time, you don't have to go too fast. And after all that hard work and all those spot welds, the stupid Mitsubishi bracket is off. Rock on. Might be chopping this section off for tire clearance, so it should be fine. Alright guys, so we took off the steering rack. No more bracket there, no more bracket there. Took off the center bracket right here. Next thing to do is take off the sway bar and the subframe and get it ready to be chopped and measure out the transmission tunnel where we're gonna want it. Also, get a new propulsion, that valve for the brake bias. Probably get one from a 300ZX twin turbo since I'm using 4-pot from Nissan's. Yeah, so it's coming along nicely, nice and slow. Right now, well, I'm not going to be using that one to chop up yet because that one's in 100. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up this one. Was supposed to go in the Evo 3, but it didn't fit because the Evo 3 was a little bent. So yeah, right now what we're doing is we're trying to chop off these steering rack mounts and measuring it out. Since it's the engine that's going to be coming here, it's going to be a big bar in the front, the steering rack in the front, and then the oil pan. I measured out the back of the engine, which is, whoops. I measured out the back of the engine, and it's it's about 10 to 11 millimeters. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop off about, not millimeters, sorry, 10 to 11 inches. So I'm going to chop about 12 inches off there, get it on the car, put a big 2x4 steel metal bar, and then start getting it mounted with the steering rack and then the engine and the transmission, and the bell housing adapter. Then it's going to be on to the fun part. The rear end, we're fitting an Evo 9. What? Yeah, Evo 9 with custom toe and camber arms, so it will fit bolt on. I won't have to cut anything, and it will apply by DMCC rules. Wednesday night, I'm going to GD's house, and we're going to California for Irwindale, so I'm not going to be working on it for at least till next week, and then I start work again, so it's going to get a little slow. But that means more money coming in. Get that bell housing adapter, the transmission. My friend has the transmission for me, he's keeping it, so I'm not worried about that. I'll be running a Supra 5-speed R154. Yeah. So, Drift Evo. Gonna be fun next year. Hopefully. See you guys.